Parents forced him to divorce. 5 years later, he sees his secret twins. There are moments that split your life in half. Daniel Cross is standing in a grocery store parking lot when his splits wide open. Two little girls, identical twins, maybe 4, maybe 5 years old, fighting over a shopping cart, their laughter cutting through the gray Seattle drizzle like light through broken glass. He knows those faces. God, he knows those faces. The shape of their jaws, the way their eyebrows pinch when they concentrate, those eyes, gray-green, his mother always called them unfortunate. He sees them every morning in the mirror. Now he's seeing them in two strangers. The bags slip from his hands, eggs hit concrete, crack open, yellow yolk spreads across gray asphalt. He doesn't notice, because she's there. Kira, his ex-wife, the woman he divorced 5 years ago, she's thinner now, harder, hair pulled back, wearing scrubs with cartoon stethoscopes, loading groceries into a beat-up Honda, saying something to the girls that makes them laugh. Living an entire life he knows nothing about. Raising his daughters. His daughters. The words won't stick, won't make sense, because Kira was pregnant and his mother said she terminated, showed him bank statements, settlement transfers, told him Kira took the money and disappeared, wanted nothing to do with him or any children. He believed her. One of the girls looks up, purple jacket, dark curls wet from the drizzle. She stares at him with an intensity that makes him transparent. She tugs Kira's sleeve, points. Kira's head snaps around. Their eyes meet across 30 feet of wet asphalt. Recognition hits her like a physical blow. Color drains from her face. Her entire body goes rigid. She moves fast, gathering the girls, herding them toward the car with urgent hands. Purple jacket keeps looking back. Pink jacket waves, uncertain but friendly. Daniel takes a step forward. Kira puts herself between him and the girls. Don't, her voice cuts across the parking lot. Don't you dare come near them. Kira, please, his voice cracks. I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know they existed. She laughs. The sound could strip paint. You didn't know? Right. Just like you didn't know your mother was forging documents. Just like you didn't know your father was paying lawyers to erase me. You never asked, Daniel, never checked, never questioned a single thing they told you. The girls are watching, confused by their mother's anger, by this stranger making her upset. Please, he's begging now. Let me explain. Let me show you what I found. Let me prove I was lied to just like you were. No, Kira opens the car door. You don't get to disrupt our lives because you finally grew a conscience. Those are my daughters. They don't know you exist. They don't need to. And I won't let you destroy the stability I built from nothing because you're suddenly feeling guilty. She gets in, starts the engine. Daniel stands there watching his family drive away. The eggs are still broken at his feet. He stares at them and thinks that's exactly what his life looks like. Shattered, wasted, impossible to repair. The divorce happened on a Tuesday. Daniel remembers because Tuesdays were when Kira taught her illustration class at the community college. She had to cancel it to meet with his parents' lawyers. He remembers her sitting across from him in that conference room, face carefully blank, while attorneys explained terms and conditions like they were discussing a business merger instead of the end of a marriage. He remembers signing papers because his father was dying and the company was hemorrhaging money, and his mother said this was the only way to save everything. He remembers Kira asking to speak to him privately. His mother said there was nothing left to discuss. The terms were generous. Kira should take the money and move on. He remembers Kira looking at him, really looking, waiting for him to say something, to stand up, to fight. He remembers staying silent. Because he was 29 and drowning, and his parents had spent months convincing him that Kira was the problem, that she was holding him back, that she came from nothing and would always be nothing, that he was sacrificing his family's legacy for someone who didn't understand what legacy meant. They never said it was because she was black. Never used those exact words. But Daniel wasn't stupid. He knew what not our kind of people meant, knew what different backgrounds was code for, knew his mother's barely concealed disgust at every family dinner was about more than class. He let them do it anyway. Let them end his marriage because fighting would have been hard and going along was easy. Kira left that conference room without looking back. Daniel told himself she'd be fine, the settlement was generous, she'd move on, find someone better. His mother told him Kira was pregnant but planning to terminate. Said she'd confirmed it with the clinic. Said Kira made it clear she wanted nothing to do with the Cross family or any children that might tie her to them. Daniel believed her. Because his mother had never lied to him before. Because his father was dying and he was too broken to question anything. Because believing was easier than confronting the possibility that he'd made the biggest mistake of his life. He threw himself into work, saved the company, restructured everything, made the Cross name more powerful than ever. Never called Kira. Never checked on her. Never questioned why a woman who desperately wanted children would suddenly terminate right after her husband abandoned her. Never asked himself why he felt empty despite all his success. Never wondered why every relationship after felt like betrayal. Never admitted he'd destroyed the only thing that actually mattered. Until 6 months ago, when his father finally died. The old man went slowly, long deterioration, plenty of time to think about choices, and apparently those thoughts led to confession. Daniel found the letter in his father's study, sorting through estate documents, single sheet of paper, shaking handwriting barely legible. Ask your mother about the birth certificate she hid. Ask her about your daughters. Daughters, plural. Daniel confronted his mother that night. Watched her face cycle through denial, anger, resignation. There were twins, she admitted, voice steady, clinical, girls. The hospital sent the birth certificate to our address by mistake. I intercepted it before you saw it. Daniel's world collapsed. You knew I had children, and you kept it from me. I was protecting you from a mistake. She was wrong for this family. I believed the pregnancy was manipulation. I did what was necessary. Necessary? Daniel's voice cracked. You stole 5 years of my children's lives. I made choices that preserved our family's future. You were falling apart. The company was failing. You needed to focus. That woman was a distraction you couldn't afford. Daniel left without another word. Hired a private investigator the next morning. The search took months, dead ends, sealed records, false leads, but gradually, piece by piece, the investigator found her. Kira Martinez, back to her maiden name, living in a small rental in Tacoma, working as a medical illustrator for a pediatric hospital, raising twin girls named Sophia and Isabella. Daniel sat in his car outside her house for 3 days before working up courage to approach. Watched her leave for work, watched a neighbor bring the girls home from school, watched them play in the small backyard. Watched the life he should have been part of continue without him. He planned what he'd say, rehearsed apologies, prepared evidence. Then he saw them in that parking lot, and everything dissolved into panic and desperate pleading and Kira's justified fury. Now he's in his penthouse apartment, 30 floors up, floor-to-ceiling windows showing the city spreading below like a map of other people's lives. Lives lived by people who probably haven't destroyed everything through weakness and choosing comfort over courage. His phone buzzes, text from his mother. Dinner tonight, 7 sharp, don't be late. Casual authority, assumption he'll show up when summoned, complete ignorance of what just detonated his existence. He types back with shaking hands. Did you know? 3 words, no punctuation. Response comes immediately. Know what, darling? Daniel closes his eyes. Did you know Kira had my children? Typing indicator appears, disappears, appears again, goes on for 30 seconds. Finally, we need to talk in person. This isn't a text conversation. Not denial, not confusion, just confirmation wrapped in deflection. She knew. His mother knew he had daughters and kept them from him. Let 5 years pass while he thought Kira had terminated and moved on. While his children grew and changed and became people without him. He calls her, she picks up first ring. Daniel, voice calm, controlled, let's not do this over the phone. Answer the question, his voice sounds like a stranger's, did you know I had children? Silence, long enough he thinks she hung up. Then, yes. The word lands like a bullet. Yes, I knew. The hospital sent the birth certificate to our address. I intercepted it. I thought I was protecting you from a mistake that would ruin your life. Protecting me? Daniel can barely form words. You thought you were protecting me by stealing my children. She wasn't right for this family. You know that. Everyone knew except you. You were infatuated, blinded. When she got pregnant, I knew it was manipulation. A trap, so yes, I made sure you didn't know. I made sure she understood you wanted nothing to do with her or any children. I created documentation that proved it, and I'd do it again. That's what mothers do, protect their children from mistakes. Daniel hangs up, doesn't say goodbye, just ends the call. His mother didn't just hide a birth certificate. She orchestrated everything, created evidence, forged his involvement, made Kira believe he knew and chose abandonment, made him believe Kira terminated and disappeared. Two separate lies, so complete neither would ever question what happened. And it worked. For 5 years, it worked perfectly. Until now. Until a Thursday afternoon, when chance put him face to face with the family he never knew he had. Daniel pulls out his laptop, types Kira Martinez. Results flood the screen. Professional website, medical illustration portfolio, blog posts, journal articles, a whole career rebuilt. He clicks through to Instagram, mostly professional, but personal posts too. The girls appear in some, never with faces fully visible, always angles protecting privacy. Sophia and Isabella, he learns their names from a birthday caption. 5 years old, twins, his daughters. He reads every post, studies every photo, tries to piece together 5 years from fragments. One from 2 years ago stops him cold. The girls at a playground. Caption reads, they have their father's eyes. I see him every time they look at me. Don't know if that's a gift or a curse. Daniel closes the laptop, puts his head in his hands. And for the first time since he was 12 and learned cross men don't cry, he breaks down completely. Time stops meaning anything. Sky darkens, city lights come on, phone keeps buzzing with calls from his mother he doesn't answer. Finally he stands, walks to the window, looks out at Seattle spread beneath him. Somewhere out there, his daughters are having dinner, doing homework, getting ready for bed, living without him. Whose fault is that? His mother's for lying, for manipulating, for believing she had the right to decide who belonged in his life. But also his, for being weak, for not fighting, for choosing easy when hard would have saved everything. For never calling Kira, never checking if she was okay, never questioning why a woman who wanted children would suddenly terminate right after her husband abandoned her. He should have known, should have seen through it, should have been brave enough to doubt. But he wasn't. And now 2 little girls don't know his name. The woman he loved hates him with justified fury. 5 years are gone, erased, irretrievable. Phone buzzes, different number. He answers without thinking. Daniel Cross. Silence, then a voice he hasn't heard in 5 years. Kira. Don't say my name like that, like you have any right, like we're still people who know each other. Cold, controlled, nothing like the warmth he remembers. I'm sorry, he doesn't know what else to say. You're sorry, that bitter laugh again. For what exactly? For signing divorce papers without fighting, for letting your parents control everything, for never calling, for believing I'd terminate and disappear with your money. Which one? All of it, voice cracks. I'm apologizing for all of it. Your apology means nothing. Sorry doesn't give me back 5 years, doesn't erase nights alone with 2 newborns, bleeding and exhausted and terrified, doesn't rebuild the career your family destroyed, doesn't explain to 2 5-year-olds why they don't have a father. I didn't know they existed, desperate now, pleading, Kira, I swear, I thought you terminated. My mother told me you went to a clinic, showed me bank statements, made me believe you wanted nothing to do with me. Your mother showed me emails from you, voice shakes, instructing lawyers to make sure I never contacted your family, bank transfers with your approval, evidence you knew I was pregnant and paid me to vanish. So don't tell me you didn't know. She forged everything, words barely come out. She had power of attorney during the crisis, created emails from my accounts, falsified signatures, built an entire narrative to keep us apart. Silence heavy. Then quieter, almost uncertain. Prove it. What? Prove she forged everything. Prove you didn't know. Prove you're not lying because you got caught. Relief floods through him like drowning. I can prove it. I have evidence. Been gathering it for months, ever since my father's deathbed confession. Your father's what? He wrote me a letter before he died, told me to ask my mother about the birth certificate she hid. When I confronted her, she admitted everything. Twins, intercepted records, kept them from me because she thought she was protecting me. Kira's breathing changes, processing, trying to reconcile what she believed with this. When did he die? 6 months ago. And you've known for 6 months. Been searching for you for 6 months. Took that long to find you, dead ends, sealed records, but I kept looking because I needed to know if they were real, needed to understand what I lost. Maury's silence, he hears her thinking. Finally, I need to see the evidence, every document, every piece of proof, and I need time to verify it's real. Because if you're lying, if this is manipulation to ease your guilt, I'll make sure you never see them, never speak to them, never get the chance to hurt them like you hurt me. I understand, hands shaking. When can I show you? Tomorrow, your address, after the girls are with my mother and Daniel. Yes. If you're wasting my time, I swear I'll destroy you the way your family destroyed me. She hangs up. Daniel stands with phone pressed to ear long after the line goes dead. She's giving him a chance, one chance to prove truth, to show evidence, to explain how his mother built a wall so complete neither could see over it. One chance, more than he deserves. He spends the rest of the night organizing documents, everything collected over 6 months. Forensic analysis of signatures, email server logs, bank audits, investigator reports, his father's letter, his mother's confession recorded. Everything chronological, timeline of lies and manipulation and systematic destruction. By dawn, his dining table looks like evidence from a trial. Which it is, he's the defendant, Kira is judge and jury, and his daughter's futures hang in the balance. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My mother once said I'd never reach 1,000 subscribers, but I believe stories like this deserve to be heard. If you believe that too, help me show her these stories matter. Subscribe and let's keep giving a voice to stories that were never meant to stay silent. Now let's continue. Kira's hands shake the entire drive home. Sophia and Isabella chatter in the backseat, already moving past the weird parking lot encounter, but Kira's brain is stuck in that moment. Daniel's face, devastation in his eyes, the way he said, I didn't know, like 3 words could excuse 5 years. She parks in their driveway, small but adequate, house she bought through determination and 80-hour weeks and refusing to break. Why was that man watching us? Isabella asks as they unload groceries. He looked sad. Sometimes adults have complicated situations. Kira's voice stays careful, nothing for you to worry about. But Sophia, always more perceptive, studies her face. You knew him, you were scared. Kira kneels, meets her daughter's eyes. I wasn't scared, I was surprised. Yes, I knew him long ago, but that doesn't matter now. Except it does, because Daniel found them, claims he didn't know, and Kira's carefully constructed world just developed cracks she doesn't know how to seal. That night, after the girls are asleep, she pulls out the divorce papers, kept in a box under her bed. Not nostalgia, evidence that what happened was real. She reads through settlement terms, non-compete clause that destroyed her career for 2 years, confidentiality agreement preventing contact with the Cross family under legal threat. Generous payment, his mother made sure she understood, came with Daniel's explicit approval. She remembers being pregnant and not knowing yet, signing those papers while 2 lives already grew inside her. The lawyers practiced sympathy, his mother's satisfied expression. Everyone acting like this was unfortunate but necessary. Remembers asking where Daniel was, being told he was too busy, that he'd instructed them to handle everything, that he wanted this resolved quickly so he could move forward. She remembers believing them. 2 weeks after the divorce finalized, she took a pregnancy test, period late, body wrong, saw those 2 lines and felt her future collapse. She called the emergency number his mother gave her, got a lawyer who informed her that per the settlement, any contact would result in immediate legal action and forfeiture of the money. She tried emailing Daniel directly, automated response, address no longer active. Showed up at his office. Security escorted her out before she made it past the lobby. His mother's lawyers sent cease and desist, made it clear. Daniel knew about the pregnancy, authorized payments to make it go away, wanted nothing to do with her or any children. The letter included bank statements, transfers with his digital signature, email threads in his name discussing how to resolve the situation permanently. Evidence he knew and didn't care. Kira stopped trying after that. She had twins to grow, life to rebuild, career to reconstruct after his family's lawyers made sure she couldn't work for 2 years. Moved in with her sister, worked night shifts cleaning offices while pregnant, taught herself to draw left-handed after nerve damage during delivery made her right hand shake. Gave birth alone, sister and mother in the room but no partner, no husband, no one who'd promised forever. Named them Sophia and Isabella, names that felt like strength, like women who'd survive anything. Raised them to be brave and kind despite broken foundations. Never mentioned their father. Built a world where his absence didn't leave holes because she filled every space herself. Now he's back. Claiming he didn't know. Claiming he was lied to. Claiming he wants to meet children he's never held, never fed, never comforted, never watched become the extraordinary people they're becoming. Phone rings, Daniel's name. She lets it go to voicemail. Rings again. Again. 4th call, she answers. Stop calling me. Kira, please, I need to show you the evidence, need you to understand. I don't care about your evidence, don't care what your mother did. You signed divorce papers without fighting, let your parents end our marriage, never came looking after, that's on you. You're right, voice cracks, absolutely right, I was weak, chose wrong, let them control everything. But Kira, I swear I thought you terminated, thought you took the money and left, never saw any birth certificate, didn't know they existed until my father's confession 6 months ago. Your mother showed me emails from you, voice shakes, instructing lawyers to ensure I never contacted your family, transfers with your approval, evidence you knew I was pregnant and paid me to disappear. She forged my involvement, barely gets words out, had power of attorney during the crisis, created emails from my accounts, falsified signatures, made you believe I knew. Silence, long and heavy. Quieter now. Prove it. What? Prove she forged everything, prove you didn't know, prove you're not just lying now. I can prove it, I have evidence. Been gathering it since I found out. Let me show you, tomorrow, please. Kira thinks about Sophia and Isabella sleeping tangled together. About the life she built that's small but complete. About the risk of letting this man back in when keeping everything the same is safest. Tomorrow, her voice is steel, your place. After the girls are with my mother, you better have documentation for every single thing you're claiming. She hangs up before he can thank her, before she can change her mind. Sits in dark living room wondering if she's about to make the same mistake twice. Trusting Daniel Cross when trusting him the first time nearly destroyed her. Daniel's penthouse looks exactly like she expected. Expensive furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows, sterile perfection suggesting someone lives here but doesn't actually exist beyond work. He looks terrible, uncombed hair, wrinkled shirt, exhaustion carved into his face. Thank you for coming, gestures to dining table covered in folders and papers. I have everything organized, documents, timelines, everything you asked for. Kira sits, starts reading. Divorce papers with forensic signature analysis. Timestamps proving Daniel wasn't in state when key documents were signed. Email server logs showing messages came from his mother's IP address. Bank statements with forged approval codes. Evidence his mother orchestrated everything while he was too destroyed to notice. Birth certificate comes next. Sophia and Isabella Cross Martinez, his name as father, her signature as mother, hidden in old business files his mother was moving. I found this 8 months ago, voice quiet. The moment I saw it, I hired investigators. Took 7 months to find you. Kira reads investigation reports, timeline of dead ends and sealed records, gradual trail leading to her address. Your mother did this, not a question, statement requiring acknowledgement. Yes, she admitted it when I confronted her, said she was protecting me from a mistake, said you were manipulation, said she did what was necessary. Kira's hands shake setting down papers. She showed me evidence, bank statements, emails, proof you knew about the pregnancy and wanted nothing to do with us. She forged all of it, voice hollow, had legal authority to access my accounts, created an entire false narrative to keep us separated. They sit in silence while Kira processes that her entire understanding was built on lies, that Daniel might be a victim too, even if his victimhood came from weakness. You still chose the divorce, says finally, your mother didn't force that, you signed those papers yourself. I did, no hesitation. Father was dying, company failing. They told me I had to choose between you and everything they'd built. I chose wrong, chose what felt responsible instead of what required courage. You chose them over me. Yes, word cracks leaving him, and I've been living with that failure every day since. Kira stands, walks to windows, looks out at city spreading below. All those lights representing lives lived by people who probably haven't destroyed everything through cowardice. What do you want from me? Asks finally. I want to meet them, want to know my daughters, want to be part of their lives in whatever way you'll allow, not asking for forgiveness, asking for a chance. Kira thinks about Sophia and Isabella, about their questions regarding fathers, about whether keeping them apart serves the girls or just protects her wounded heart. I need time, I need to process this and decide what's best for them, not what makes you feel better, not what punishes you, what actually serves them. Daniel nods, though his face shows the cost. Whatever you decide, I'll accept it. Kira gathers her things, walks toward door, stops, turns back. Why didn't you remarry? Asks suddenly. Why didn't you build a different family after ours ended? Daniel's laugh is hollow, because I never stopped being married to you, not in any way that mattered. Every relationship I tried felt like betrayal. Every woman wasn't you. Finally accepted, I destroyed the only family I'd ever want. Kira leaves without responding, drives home with tears streaming down her face. Mourning the marriage they lost, the years they could have had, the family they should have been. understanding maybe they were both victims of his mother's cruelty, even while acknowledging he enabled it through weakness, and wondering if she's brave enough to risk letting him in when safest would be keeping everything exactly as it is. 3 weeks pass before Kira makes her decision. 3 weeks of Sophia and Isabella asking about fathers, about why they don't have one, about whether they're different. 3 weeks of her sister saying he screwed up, but he's trying now. Don't the girls deserve to know him? 3 weeks of staring at those documents, seeing evidence Daniel was lied to just as completely. She calls him Saturday morning. Botanical garden, tomorrow at 2, you get 1 hour. Thank you, voice cracks with relief. Kira, thank you. She hangs up before he can finish. That evening, she sits Sophia and Isabella down. Remember when you asked about your father? Both girls go still, identical concentration. He exists, and he wants to meet you. He didn't know about you for a long time because some people made sure he couldn't, but he knows now. Tomorrow, if you want, you can meet him. What's his name? Sophia asks. Daniel Cross. Why didn't he know about us? Isabella's voice is small. Because his mother lied to both of us, told him I didn't want him to know, told me he didn't want to know you, kept us separated through lies. Sophia processes with her usual precision, but he could have tried harder. Even with lies, he could have checked. Heart breaks because her 5-year-old just articulated what's been tormenting her. You're right, he could have. He made mistakes, chose wrong when it mattered, but he's trying now. You get to decide if that's enough. I want to meet him, Isabella says immediately. Sophia stays quiet, thoughtful. What if we meet him and don't like him? Then you don't have to see him again. This is about giving you information to make your own choices, not forcing you into a relationship you don't want. Next day, they walk through Botanical Garden together, toward the man waiting at picnic table with his entire future balanced on the next hour. Daniel stands when he sees them, then sits like his legs won't hold. His eyes are Sophia's eyes, Isabella's eyes, grey-green Kira used to love. Sophia, Isabella, voice formal, careful, this is Daniel Cross, your father. Girls stare with justified caution. Daniel looks at his daughters and tears stream down his face without him hiding them. Hi, voice breaks on the word. I've been waiting to meet you for a very long time. Sophia speaks first, precise and careful. I'm Sophia, 3 minutes older. I like science and organizing by category. Favorite color is purple. Isabella smiles more openly. I'm Isabella. I like art and making friends. Favorite color is yellow today. Daniel nods like they've shared universe secrets. Purple is good, yellow is happy. Why did you leave our mom? Sophia asks bluntly. Daniel absorbs the directness, doesn't flinch. I made terrible choice. My father was sick. My mother told me I had to choose between your mom and helping my family. I chose the company, told myself it was responsible, but really I was scared and weak. Did you know about us? Isabella asks quietly. No, my mother lied, told me your mom wasn't pregnant, hid the birth certificate proving you existed. Didn't find out until 6 months ago, been searching ever since. Sophia edges closer. Do you have other kids, ones you kept? No, you're my only children. I wish I'd been there from the beginning. They talk for the full hour, walking through garden, Daniel asking questions about school and interests and futures, Sophia warming slowly, testing him with difficult questions, Isabella chattering constantly, filling silences with natural warmth. Kira watches this fragile connection form between 3 strangers who should have known each other from birth. When the hour ends, Daniel walks them to parking lot. Can we see you again? Isabella asks. Daniel looks at Kira, waiting for permission. We'll see, careful, let's take this slow. That night, Sophia and Isabella are asleep. Kira sits in the dark thinking about second chances, about whether people who choose wrong can earn their way back through consistency, about whether her daughters deserve a father even if she's not ready to forgive. Phone buzzes, text from Daniel. Thank you for today. Thank you for letting me meet them. I know I don't deserve this, but I won't waste it. Kira stares at message for long time before responding. You get one more visit. Next Saturday, same place. Don't make me regret this. Sends it before changing her mind. Before fear can override the small, fragile possibility that maybe broken things can become different things that serve new purposes even if they never return to their original shape. 6 months pass like water wearing stone smooth. Daniel becomes a fixture in Sophia and Isabella's lives the way reliable people do, present and steady until presence itself becomes the relationship. Every weekend, soccer games, he sits alone in the bleachers because Kira isn't ready to sit beside him yet, cheering when Isabella scores, consoling when Sophia misses. School performances where he watches them sing with tears streaming down his face. Overwhelmed by ordinary moments he thought he'd permanently lost. He learns that Sophia needs advance warning before routine changes, that Isabella requires constant verbal affirmation, learns their favorite foods, their friendship dynamics, the 1,000 small details that define who they are. The visits expand gradually, from supervised public meetings to him picking them up from school, taking them for ice cream, spending Saturday afternoons teaching them things he knows. He shows Sophia how to identify fossils, takes her to natural history museums where she bombards curators with questions that make them smile. He teaches Isabella simple songs on a guitar he barely knows how to play, watches her turn his amateur efforts into something joyful. Kira watches from necessary distance, maintaining boundaries even while acknowledging he's becoming genuinely important to their daughters. She still doesn't sit with him at events, still doesn't invite him inside beyond the porch, still keeps armor firmly in place against being hurt again. But she also stops objecting when Sophia asks if Daniel can come to her birthday party, stops insisting on supervising every moment, stops treating him like a threat requiring constant monitoring. One evening in late spring, Daniel shows up at her door unexpectedly. His face is different, drawn, exhausted in a way that has nothing to do with work. My mother died, says it without preamble. Cancer, thought you should know. Kira absorbs this and feels nothing, just cold recognition that the woman who destroyed her life is gone. I'm not going to say I'm sorry. I know I'm not asking you to. He pauses. She left them money, another trust fund. Lawyer said she'd been working on it since my father died. Guilt money. Probably, but it'll help them regardless. They stand in awkward silence. November wind cutting through expensive coats and thrift store jackets equally. What happens now? Daniel asks finally. Do I keep doing supervised visits? Do the girls get to decide if they want more contact? What's the next step? Kira watches Sophia and Isabella with her mother near the car, 3 of them forming their own conversation. We keep going slowly. You keep showing up, keep being consistent. Eventually, maybe Sophia will decide you're trustworthy. Maybe Isabella will stop trying to fix everyone's feelings. Maybe you'll just be their dad instead of this complicated situation they're navigating. And you, Daniel's voice is quiet. Where do you fit in this future we're building? Kira turns to look at him directly. I don't know yet. I'm their mother and you're their father. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we coexist for their benefit without being anything to each other beyond co-parents. Something flickers across Daniel's expression, might be disappointment, but he nods acceptance. Whatever you're willing to give, I'll take it and be grateful. Later that week, Daniel takes the girls to his penthouse for the first time. Nervous about them seeing where he lives, worried it'll emphasize the wealth disparity, the different worlds they inhabit. But Sophia and Isabella explore with delighted curiosity, finding the telescope he bought for Sophia's interest in astronomy, the art supplies he stocked for Isabella's creative projects. You have extra bedrooms, Isabella observes, for when we stay over. Daniel looks at her with barely contained hope. Would you want to stay over sometimes? Maybe, Sophia says cautiously, if Mommy thinks it's okay and you prove you can take care of us properly. I'll prove it, however long it takes. That evening, standing in Kira's kitchen while she makes dinner and the girls do homework at the table, Daniel feels something shift into place. This won't ever be the family they could have had if his mother hadn't lied and he hadn't been weak. But it's becoming a family anyway, built on harder foundations, earned through consistency rather than assumption, shaped by choices made after understanding consequences instead of before. Kira hands him vegetables to chop. They work side by side in comfortable silence, while Sophia explains fractions to Isabella with exaggerated patience. The scene is so ordinary it makes his chest ache, because ordinary is what he missed, what he thought he'd lost permanently, what he's being given a chance to experience even though he doesn't deserve it. Thank you, says quietly while the girls are distracted. For what? Kira asks. For letting me be here, for giving me a chance, for not deciding I was too much risk. Kira looks at him and her expression softens slightly. You earned it, by showing up every single time, by being consistent when consistency was all we needed. You're earning it still. Every day you prove you mean what you say. The words feel like absolution and challenge simultaneously. Acknowledgement he's making progress while reminding him the work never ends. But something changes after his mother's funeral. Sophia asks the question during dinner one night, rain drumming against windows, kitchen warm and safe. Why don't we have pictures of you and Mommy together? The question lands like a grenade. Kira's hands still on the pasta she's serving. Daniel, helping set the table, freezes mid-motion. Because we weren't together when you were born. Kira's voice stays careful. We were already divorced. But you were married before. Sophia presses. When you loved each other, there should be pictures. Isabella looks between them with growing understanding. Did something bad happen? Kira sits down heavily, meets Daniel's eyes across the table. A silent question, how much do we tell them? Daniel sits too. Something complicated happened, he says slowly. My family didn't approve of your mother. They made choices that hurt everyone, and I wasn't strong enough to stop them. What kind of choices? Sophia asks, her analytical mind working through adult complications. Kira takes a breath. Daniel's mother lied to both of us. She told him I didn't want him to know about you. She told me he didn't want anything to do with us. She kept us separated on purpose. That's mean. Isabella's face crumples. Why would she do that? Because she was scared. Daniel's voice roughens, scared of things being different from what she expected, scared of change, and she thought she was protecting me when really she was hurting everyone. Did you love Mommy? Sophia asks him directly, before everything got messed up. Daniel looks at Kira, really looks at her for the first time in months, past the armor, past the careful distance, into the person he married. Yes, voice cracks, very much, and losing her was the biggest mistake I ever made. Kira's breath catches. She wasn't expecting honesty that raw. Do you still love her? Isabella asks with characteristic directness. The question hangs in the kitchen. Rain continues outside. Pasta gets cold on plates. Daniel doesn't look away from Kira. I never stopped. Sophia processes this with her usual precision. But you're not together, so something else is wrong. Your mother and I, Daniel struggles for words. We are learning how to be a family in a different way than we planned, learning how to trust each other again after trust was broken. It takes time. How much time? Isabella wants definitive answers. Kira finally speaks, voice quiet but steady. I don't know, sweetheart. Some things you can't put a timeline on. Sometimes you just have to see what happens. That night after the girls are asleep, Kira finds Daniel still in the kitchen, washing dishes he wasn't asked to wash. You didn't have to say that. She speaks to his back, about still loving me. He turns, hands dripping soapy water. I wasn't going to lie to them. They deserve honesty. Even if the honesty complicates things. Especially then. Kira leans against the counter, studies this man who destroyed her and is now slowly, painfully rebuilding something from the ruins. I'm not ready, says it plainly. I'm not ready to love you again, not ready to trust you won't choose wrong when the next impossible decision comes, not ready to risk breaking in the same place twice. I know. Daniel dries his hands, turns to face her fully. I'm not asking you to be ready, I'm just being honest about where I am, about what I feel, about what I hope for even if I never get it. What do you hope for? He looks at her like she's the only thing that's ever mattered. I hope that someday you'll look at me and not see the man who failed you. I hope our daughters grow up knowing their father showed up. I hope that eventually, if I prove myself enough, you might. He stops, starts again. I hope you might consider letting me try again. Differently this time, better. Kira's chest tightens. That's a lot of hope riding on someone who has every reason to never trust you. I know, but hope is all I have, so I'll keep showing up, keep being consistent, keep proving that the man I am now isn't the coward I was then, for as long as it takes. And if it takes forever, then I'll spend forever proving it. Kira doesn't respond, just nods slowly and leaves the kitchen. But later, lying in bed, she thinks about consistency, about how Daniel has shown up every single time for 6 months, about how Sophia is starting to relax around him, about how Isabella lights up when he arrives, about how she feels when he's in her kitchen washing dishes without being asked, about whether protection or possibility should guide her choices now. Sleep doesn't come easily. The shift happens on a Tuesday. Sophia's school calls, she's sick, fever, needs to be picked up immediately. Kira's at a client meeting 2 hours away, won't be back until evening. She calls her mother, no answer, calls her sister, out of town. Stares at her phone, at Daniel's number. Hesitates for only a moment before calling. He answers immediately, Kira, everything okay? Sophia's sick, I'm 2 hours away, my mother's not answering, can you? She stops, hates asking, can you pick her up from school? I'm already in my car, text me the address. 20 minutes later, Daniel walks into the school office, signs Sophia out. She's pale and miserable, clutching her stomach. My tummy hurts, voice small, where's mommy? She's working but she'll be home soon. I'm going to take care of you until then. Is that okay? Sophia studies him with fever-bright eyes, calculating whether this is acceptable. Finally nods. Daniel carries her to his car, buckles her in carefully, drives to her house using the key Kira texted him the code for. Inside, he finds children's medicine in the bathroom, gives Sophia the right dose, settles her on the couch with blankets and her favorite stuffed dinosaur. She falls asleep within minutes. Daniel sits on the floor beside the couch, watching her breathe, this tiny person who's half him and half Kira and entirely herself, sick and trusting him to take care of her. The weight of that trust nearly crushes him. When Kira arrives 3 hours later, frantic and guilty, she finds them still there. Sophia asleep on the couch, Daniel on the floor beside her, reading a book in the fading afternoon light. Kira stands in the doorway, takes in the scene. Something in her chest cracks open. Hey, Daniel looks up, keeps his voice quiet. Fever broke about an hour ago, she's been sleeping since. I gave her medicine at 2, next dose is at 6. Kira nods, throat too tight for words. Thank you, finally manages, for coming, for taking care of her. Of course, Daniel stands, stretches stiff muscles, she's my daughter, this is what parents do. The simple statement carries weight they both feel. Kira walks him to the door, they stand in the threshold, evening settling around them. You could stay, the words come out before she's fully decided to say them, for dinner, if you want, as thank you. Daniel's eyes widen slightly, you sure? No, honest, but I'm saying it anyway. He stays. They make dinner together while Sophia sleeps. Easy cooperation born from 6 months of supervised parallel existence. Kira chops vegetables, Daniel handles the stove. Isabella comes home from her playdate and squeals seeing Daniel. Talks non-stop through dinner about her day while Sophia picks at food, still feeling unwell. After, Daniel offers to do bedtime. Kira almost objects, stops herself, nods permission. She listens from the hallway as he reads them a story, his voice gentle and patient, answering Sophia's sleepy questions, laughing at Isabella's commentary. Watches through the cracked door as he tucks them in, kisses their foreheads, tells them he loves them. The girls say it back without hesitation. I love you too, Daddy. Kira has to turn away, has to press her hand to her mouth to keep the sob inside. Because her daughters have a father now, a real one, who shows up when they're sick and reads bedtime stories and loves them with his whole broken heart. And she doesn't know if she's ready for what that means for her. Daniel finds her in the kitchen, leaning against the counter with tears on her face. Kira. She holds up a hand, stopping him from coming closer. I'm fine, just, that was good, what you did, they needed that. So did I. Daniel stays where he is, respects the boundary. I've missed so much. Every bedtime story, every sick day, every ordinary moment, getting to do it now feels like, he struggles for words, like being allowed back into a home I was exiled from. You exiled yourself, but there's no heat in it, just exhaustion. You chose to leave. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to earn my way back in, if you'll let me. Kira wipes her face, looks at him properly. I watched you with them tonight, watched you be their father, and it terrified me. Why? Because they love you now. Because if you leave again, it won't just break me, it'll break them, and I can't. Her voice cracks. I can't let you hurt them the way you hurt me. Daniel crosses the kitchen, slowly, giving her time to object, stops when he's close enough to touch but doesn't. I will never leave them. His voice is steel wrapped in silk. Whatever happens between us, whatever you decide about me, I will never abandon our daughters again, even if you hate me forever, even if I never get to be more than the father who shows up twice a week. I will be in their lives until I die. Kira searches his face, looking for cracks in the certainty. Finds none. Okay, barely a whisper, okay. They stand in her small kitchen, close enough to touch, miles of history between them. I should go, Daniel says finally, let you rest. Kira nods, walks him to the door. He pauses on the porch. Thank you for letting me stay, for trusting me with Sophia when she was sick. I know that wasn't easy. Nothing about this is easy, but she says it without bitterness, just fact. But maybe easy isn't what we need. Maybe we need hard and honest and real. I can do hard and honest and real. Daniel's smile is sad and hopeful simultaneously. I'm good at hard now, had a lot of practice. Kira almost smiles back. Almost. Good night, Daniel. Good night. She watches him walk to his car, watches him drive away. Closes the door and leans against it. Her phone buzzes. Text from her sister who she'd tried calling earlier. Sorry I missed your call. Everything okay? Kira stares at the message, types back. I think maybe it is. For the first time in 5 years, I think maybe it actually is. The next 3 months unfold like careful choreography. Daniel becomes part of their routine, not living with them but present, really present. He picks the girls up from school twice a week, takes them to their activities, learns to braid Isabella's hair after watching YouTube tutorials, helps Sophia with her science projects. He and Kira develop a rhythm, co-parenting that slowly becomes something resembling friendship. They text about mundane things, soccer practice schedules, permission slips, whether Sophia should get glasses. Start having coffee together when he drops the girls off, 15 minutes that stretch to 30, to an hour. Talking about nothing important, everything important. How their days went, What the girls said, old memories that don't hurt quite so much anymore. Kira finds herself laughing at his jokes, sharing her frustrations about difficult clients, asking his opinion on things she'd normally handle alone. One Saturday, Daniel shows up with paint samples. The girls mentioned their room needed repainting, thought maybe I could help. Kira stares at him, at the paint samples, at this man offering to paint her daughter's bedroom in a house that isn't his. You don't have to do that. I know, but I want to, if you'll let me. She lets him. They spend the weekend painting, Sophia and Isabella choosing colors, purple for Sophia's wall, yellow for Isabella's, shared walls in soft green. Daniel and Kira work side by side, roller brushes and drop cloths, music playing softly, girls creating art at the kitchen table. It feels domestic, feels like family, feels dangerous and wonderful and terrifying all at once. At one point, Kira looks over and finds Daniel watching her instead of painting. What? Nothing, just, this is nice. Being here with all of you, doing normal family things. I missed this, missed the possibility of this. We never had this, Kira points out. We got married and divorced before we could build ordinary. I know, so maybe this is better, building it now, after learning what losing it costs. Maybe we'll appreciate it more. Maybe, Kira turns back to her wall, or maybe we're both just scared of being alone again. If that's why we're doing this, is that so wrong? The question hangs between them. Kira doesn't answer. That night, after Daniel's gone and the girls are asleep, Kira sits in their newly painted room, breathing in the smell of fresh paint and new possibilities. Her phone buzzes, text from Daniel. Thank you for today, for letting me be part of this, even the small, ordinary parts, especially those. She stares at the message for a long time before responding. You're welcome, the girls loved it, loved having you here. And you. 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. Finally. I didn't hate it. Not exactly a declaration of love, but it's something more than she thought she'd ever give him. His response comes immediately. I'll take didn't hate it, it's progress. She finds herself smiling, types back before she can stop herself. Don't get used to it, still watching you, still waiting for you to choose wrong. I know, and that's fair, I'll keep proving I won't, however long it takes. Kira falls asleep thinking about consistency, about how Daniel has shown up for 9 months now without failing once, about whether that's enough to build trust on, about whether she wants it to be. The breaking point comes in October. Daniel's company faces a crisis, major client threatening to pull out, board pressuring him to fly to New York immediately, 3 days minimum. It's Sophia's birthday weekend. He promised her he'd be there, promised they'd go to the Science Museum, promised he wouldn't miss it. Now he's sitting in Kira's living room, explaining the situation. I told them I couldn't go, that I had commitments, but they're threatening my position if I don't handle this personally. So go, Kira's voice is carefully neutral, handle your business. It's Sophia's birthday, I promised her. And it's your career, your company, the thing you chose over us before. She doesn't say it meanly, just factually. Daniel hears it anyway, flinches like she struck him. This is different. This is me choosing them over the company, choosing what actually matters. Is it because it sounds like you're in the same position you were in 5 years ago, family or business, and we both know how that turned out. So what? Daniel's voice rises. You want me to lose my job, lose everything I've built, prove that I'll sacrifice anything for you. I want you to figure out what actually matters to you, without me telling you what the right choice is. Because if you can't choose on your own, if you need me to give you permission, then you haven't really changed at all. They stare at each other, years of pain and fear and hope tangled between them. Fine, Daniel stands, I'll figure it out, without your permission. He leaves without saying goodbye. Kira sits in the silence, heart pounding, wondering if she just pushed too hard, if she just destroyed the fragile thing they've been building. But also knowing she needed to see if he'd choose different when the pressure was real. The next morning, Daniel shows up at their door. Early, before the girls are awake. Kira answers in her robe, confused. I thought you were flying to New York. I was. He looks exhausted, looks like he hasn't slept. I got to the airport, got on the plane, sat there for 20 minutes while they prepared for takeoff. And I got off, told the board I was sending my second in command, that I had a prior commitment I wouldn't break, that if they wanted to fire me for prioritizing my daughter's birthday, then I'd accept those consequences. Kira's breath catches. You could lose everything. I already lost everything once. Daniel's voice is raw. I'm not making that mistake again. The company will survive without me for 3 days. Sophia's 6th birthday only happens once. I'm not missing it. What if they fire you? Then I'll find another job, but I'll do it with a clear conscience, knowing I chose right this time. Kira stares at him, at this man who just risked his career for a 6-year-old's birthday party. At this man who finally chose family when it cost him something. Come inside, her voice is thick, before you wake the neighbors. Daniel follows her into the kitchen. She makes coffee with shaking hands. They sit at her small table, drinking in silence. Finally, Kira speaks. That was really stupid. I know. You could lose everything you've worked for. I know. The board might actually fire you. They might, but I'll still be at the Science Museum on Saturday with my daughter, and that's worth more than any job. Kira sets down her coffee cup, looks at him properly. You've changed. I had to. The man I was before destroyed everything that mattered. This version might be unemployed, might have chosen wrong by corporate standards, but he's going to be at his daughter's birthday party, and that's the only standard that matters anymore. Kira feels something shift, something that's been locked tight for 5 years. Not love, not yet, but possibility. You really stayed. Just repeated statement requiring confirmation. I really stayed, and I'll keep staying. For every birthday, every sick day, every ordinary Tuesday, for as long as you'll let me. What if I let you stay for more than just the girls? The question falls between them like a stone in still water. Daniel goes very still. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe I'm tired of keeping you at arm's length. Maybe I'm tired of pretending I don't notice when you're here and miss you when you're not. Maybe, she struggles for words, maybe I'm ready to try. Try what? She meets his eyes, us, again, differently this time, with full knowledge of what we lost and what it cost, with no illusions that it'll be easy or simple or anything like before. Daniel's eyes fill. Are you serious? Terrified, but yes, serious. He crosses to her, drops to his knees beside her chair, takes her hands in his. I will spend every day proving this was the right choice. Every single day, I won't fail you again. You might, Kira says honestly, we might fail each other, might hurt each other, might discover we can't actually rebuild what was broken. Or we might build something better, because we know what losing feels like, because we know what we're fighting for now. Yeah, Kira's voice cracks, we might. He kisses her hands, presses his forehead against them, breathes like he's been holding his breath for 5 years and finally remembered how. Thank you, barely a whisper, thank you for giving me this chance. Don't thank me yet, still a long way to go, still a lot to rebuild, still a lot of trust to earn. I know I'll earn it, I promise. Kira pulls him up, pulls him close, their first hug in 5 years. He holds her like she might disappear. She holds him like she might finally believe he'll stay. They stand in her kitchen as dawn breaks outside, 2 broken people choosing to rebuild together, knowing it'll be hard, knowing they might fail. Choosing to try anyway. Sophia's birthday party is perfect. The Science Museum, dinosaur exhibits, hands-on experiments, Sophia's eyes huge with wonder. Daniel and Kira stand side by side, watching their daughters explore. Isabella notices first. "You're holding hands." They look down, without realizing it, fingers laced together. "Is that okay?" Kira asks carefully. "If Daddy and I are friends again, maybe more than friends." Both girls look at each other, some twin communication happening without words. Finally, Sophia speaks. "Does this mean we can have sleepovers at Daddy's apartment without it being weird?" Kira laughs, surprised. "That's your concern." "And can we have both of you at school events?" Isabella adds, "instead of taking turns." "We can try," Daniel says, "if that's what you want." "We want," both girls say together, then run off to the next exhibit, leaving their parents standing there, holding hands, watching their children be children. "This is weird," Kira says. "Good weird, but weird." "Yeah," Daniel squeezes her hand. 5 years of separation, 9 months of careful rebuild, now trying to figure out how to be together. "Think we can do it?" Kira glances at him. "Actually make it work this time." "I think we have to try, for them, for us, for what we lost and what we might get back." They stay like that, hand in hand, watching Sophia and Isabella building something from ruins. One birthday party at a time. One held hand at a time. One day at a time. Later, when the party ends and the girls are sugared up and exhausted, Daniel drives them all home. Pulls into Kira's driveway, turns off the engine. The girls spill out, racing to the door. Kira lingers. "Thank you for today, for staying, for choosing right. Always from now on, always." She leans across the console, kisses his cheek, brief, tentative, testing. His breath catches, first kiss in 5 years, even just on the cheek. She pulls back, uncertain. "Is this okay?" "Yes," voice rough, "more than okay." "Good." She opens her door. "See you tomorrow, for movie night." "Tomorrow," confirms it like a promise. She goes inside. He sits in the driveway until the lights come on, until he sees them all safe inside. Then drives home thinking about possibility. About second chances that look nothing like first chances. About broken things becoming different things. About family rebuilt from ruins. About love that's harder and deeper and more honest than before. About the long road ahead and the willingness to walk it together. 1 year later, Daniel proposes again. Not with a big gesture, not with an expensive ring, not with any of the flash that marked the first time. Just them in Kira's kitchen, after the girls are asleep, after a year of slowly rebuilding trust. After a year of him showing up, every time, without fail. After a year of her learning to believe he would. He gets down on one knee with a simple band. "I know we already did this once. No, it didn't work out, but I'm not the same man who proposed before, and you're not the same woman who said yes. We're different now, scarred and careful and fully aware of what failure looks like. So I'm asking, not because I think we can recapture what we lost, but because I think we can build something better. Will you marry me, again, differently this time?" Kira looks at him, at this man who chose their daughter's birthday over his career, who showed up every time for a year, who earned his way back into their lives through consistency and honesty and refusing to quit. At this man who destroyed her and then spent years proving he could rebuild what he broke. Yes, voice steady, with full knowledge this might fail, with no illusions it'll be easy, with complete understanding of what we're risking. Yes. He slides the ring on her finger, stands, pulls her close. They kiss like people who know loss intimately, like people who understand what they have, like people who have earned this moment through pain and persistence. Like people who chose each other despite everything, because of everything. "We're going to make it this time," Daniel murmurs against her hair. "Yeah," Kira holds him tighter. "I think maybe we are." The wedding happens 6 months later. Small, just family and close friends. Sophia and Isabella as flower girls. Kira in a simple dress, Daniel in a suit, both of them older, wiser, scarred. When the officiant asks if they take each other, knowing full well the complications and history and pain between them. They both say yes, without hesitation, with full awareness of what they're choosing. The girls cheer, loud and unrestrained. Their parents kiss, seal the vow, begin again. After, at the small reception, Sophia corners her father. "You're really staying this time, right, not leaving again?" Never, he crouches to her level, meets her serious eyes. "I'm here, for you and your sister and your mom, for as long as I live, that's a promise." Okay, Sophia studies him, testing for truth, then hugs him quickly. "Good, because we like having you around." "I like being around." Isabella joins them, adding her arms to the hug. "We're a real family now, right?" "Yeah, sweetheart." Daniel holds his daughters close. "We're a real family." Kira watches from across the room, watches her husband with their daughters, watches the family they've built from impossible circumstances. Her sister appears beside her. "You did it, actually gave him another chance, thought you'd never forgive him." "I didn't forgive him," Kira says thoughtfully. "Forgiveness implies erasing what happened. I didn't erase anything, I chose to build something new from what was broken. That's different." "Is it enough?" Kira looks at Daniel, at Sophia and Isabella, at the life they're building together. "Yeah, I think it is." The reception ends. They go home, all four of them, to the house Kira bought alone but now shares. Tuck the girls into their purple and yellow room, kiss them goodnight together, leave them giggling about having both parents in the same house. Then Kira and Daniel stand in the hallway, married again, different people in the same promise. Scared, Daniel admits that "I'll mess this up, that I'll choose wrong again, that I'll hurt you." "Me too." Kira takes his hand. "Scared you'll leave, scared I'll push you away, scared we're building on broken foundations." So what do we do? Same thing we've been doing: show up, be honest, choose each other even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. "I can do that." "Me too." They go to bed in the same room, sleep beside each other for the first time in 6 years. Wake up married, parents together. Building something from ruins. One day at a time. One choice at a time. One moment of choosing courage over comfort at a time. And in the years that follow, they'll face challenges, arguments, moments when old fears surface. But they'll also face them together, with full knowledge of what loss looks like, with complete commitment to not repeat past mistakes. They'll watch Sophia and Isabella grow, graduate, become women who know their father showed up, who know love requires consistency, who know broken things can heal differently but still heal. They'll build a life that's harder and more honest than the one they lost. And maybe that's the real lesson here. That some failures teach you what actually matters, that some losses show you what you took for granted, that some endings are necessary for better beginnings. That second chances don't erase first failures, they just give you opportunity to choose differently. That families come in all shapes, some perfect from the start, others built from ruins through sheer determination and refusal to quit. That love isn't always easy. Sometimes it's hard and messy and requires rebuilding trust brick by careful brick. But it's worth it, every hard moment, every choice to stay instead of run, every day of proving you've changed. It's worth it when you see your daughters growing up whole, when you hold hands with someone who knows your worst and loves you anyway, when you build ordinary moments from extraordinary wreckage. Daniel Cross lost 5 years of his daughters' lives because he chose wrong when it mattered. But he spent the rest of his life choosing right, showing up, being present, building family from broken foundations. And in the end, that's what mattered, not the failure, not the loss, but the choice to rebuild despite it, the commitment to do better, the willingness to earn what he'd destroyed. Some stories don't get happy endings, they get hard-earned ones where people do the work, where trust is rebuilt slowly, where love looks different but runs deeper. This is one of those stories. And maybe that's the most honest kind there is. End.